bringing music by new and up-and-coming great artists.
The Grammy goes to
The next big thing. This is Untouched Melodies.
Hello, hello, hello. It is another episode of Untouched Melodies. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I have not been doing these episodes very much because I've been disconnected from the music world. But then I got a DM from a friend from the past who was going to make an album. And here she is today. Her name's Raven. Her artist name is Faerie. And she has her debut album, which released today on all streaming platforms. So welcome. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks so much for having me on.
I'm super excited. It's obviously a long time coming, as we talked about, but I kind of came across your music by accident, and then we just kind of kept in contact. And it's been as you said, a couple of years. A lot's happened. I'm single and divorced and all that fun stuff, and you've had all sorts of life happenings, much like I have. So it's like all these things chained up, and then eventually it just came together. So, Raven, tell us a little bit about you, kind of your background, what brought you into music, just to give people who don't know who you are a little bit of a backstory.
Totally. Yeah. So my name's Rainy Fairy, like you said. And I kind of got my start in music around like 12-ish. Like I just started writing like poetry and stuff to like cope with like my life, and eventually that turned into like writing songs about it. And they weren't good at first. Obviously I was 12. Not all of us are Taylor Swift and we're a prodigy at age 13, but yeah. And then I got into like band and marching band when I got into high school, and that taught me a lot about like having the trained ear for like certain things, and taught me a lot of skills that I've since applied
Right.
to my stuff. And then just last year I've started finally producing all my stuff. So yeah, this
Wow.
is starting with this album.
It's awesome. And so let's talk about the album itself. So it's 6 songs.
Hmm.
Some in the industry call that an EP. We're calling it an album because it's been a long time coming. And you know what's hilarious is Spotify calls it an EP because it's at 6 songs, but whatever, it's an album. Um, but I heard you first, and it was very different to the sound of this album. So I want to go into that a little bit first. But first of all, I'm going to fix something on my microphone. 1 second.
Sure thing.
Cool. And I'm starting to see all these things, and I'm like, man, I haven't done this in a while. I need to get back to this, man. You know what I'm saying?
No stress. I get it.
There we go. That's better. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I heard you, and it was like a very different sound. And so I'm gonna play that just because I want people to kind of hear the difference between the evolution. And I love this part of the show and being able to do this with artists, because if I were to pick my top 5 songs or my top 3 songs, this song would be in it just because of how um the evolution kind of started. You kind of started, some would argue you started with this because this is the first thing that you kind of released into Spotify or whatever. But it really kind of put you on the map for me, because there's a lot of um vocal changes, and there's a lot of energy, and it's a lot more intentional. So I'm going to open up my Spotify, not a shameless plug for Spotify, by the way. um and we'll give this a shot. If it works ever. There we go.
I don't know if it's just for you or if it's just for me, but I can no longer hear you or the music.
There you go.
Perfect.
That helps.
Yes.
Future's door, am I the one you're hoping for? You choose me or lose me. The choice is yours. I know we were so happy, but what about in your mind? I've been kind, so will you find me or leave me behind? Babe, when I wait for you, what will you do?
So I want people to go and listen to that. So I'm not going to play the whole track because that would just be cheating.
Right.
Look her up. Anyway, that was the first song I heard of yours, and obviously it wasn't broken up by silence, which may have happened to some people who were listening. But that was a taster, and really, when I reached out to you on Instagram, it was kind of like I have this process with this show is I go and find artists that are fewer than like 1,000 listens a month on Spotify and find their Instagram and send them a message. And I sent you a message and you're like, oh, I have one track. Like we could totally plug that one track, but I'm making an album. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'll wait for the album. And here we are today. But like it was really cool. And also the art and everything that's gone with it, the photos, just all of that stuff. It's really well done. So people should definitely go and check it out. We'll definitely plug some more music as well as we're talking here. But so what, like, as far as music goes, you know, you went from this to your album. Okay. Is there a genre that you're focused on, or are you just kind of seeing where it takes you, like where creativity can bring you?
Yeah, so the stuff that I made, Ever After is actually, and Choose Me or Lose Me both. I wrote them both in like high school when I was like 15 years old, and that was kind of the genre that I intended. Actually, Choose Me or Lose Me was originally supposed to be a part of Ever After, but just we spent so long making Choose Me or Lose Me that like by the time we got to the album, like I had gotten better, my producer had gotten better. It was just a different era. And
Right.
like Choose Me or Lose Me was supposed to be a pop country song as well, but the person we were working with instrumentally was kind of new to the session stuff, and he kind of just did his own thing with it. And I didn't know what I was doing as an artist yet either, so I just kind of went with it. I was like, well, it's a song and it's gonna be out, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But as far as like one genre goes, I don't really want to stay in one little arena. Like I'm putting out my past stuff first from high school, which is very pop
Right.
country, very early Taylor Swift, very like Fearless, Speak Now sort of inspiration, because that's what I was
Right.
listening to at the time.
Right.
But the stuff I'm writing now as an adult is like totally different. I'm way more into like punk and rock and like harder stuff, and so
Wow. Okay.
that'll be coming way down the line. But I'm gonna start out with very commercial pop first, as I'm putting out my older stuff, just so that it's more palatable. And then, you know, as I grow my own little audience, then I can, you know, branch out and kind of widen that a little bit.
Right. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
You know, I've had so many artists on here, and one of the things that is consistent with each one of them is this genre debate, like what genre am I going to speak to and all that kind of stuff. And the conversations that we've had are very much around, yeah, release all your old stuff, but make sure that you're true to yourself now, because it's very much, you're going to gain all these listeners, and then all of a sudden you're going to be making punk or something, and they're going to be like, what happened to Rainy Fairy? It's more like Rainy Goth Chick. No, I'm joking. But like, yeah, I mean, I your voice is amazing. You've got a lot of energy. And this album is very much kind of like I was saying to you, you take us on a journey. It's almost like knowing you, or a little bit about you. You know, it's almost like, hey, this was my journey through kind of high school or whatever, and these are the experience that I was having, and but also you can kind of take your own message from it. It's like, you know, it's very well written.
Thank you.
Is there like a goal or a plan for releasing more, or are you just kind of seeing where this one takes you, and then, or have you already got like everything ready to go? You're just
Um,
taking it easy.
I've written 13 albums that are ready to go. I need to produce them. And I've written
Right.
so much, and so it's just about a matter of getting them out and the time and finances that it requires me, that's
Right.
required of me to make that happen. But I'm chugging along. Life is hard,
Right.
but I'm doing what I can to get those out. So I'm gonna start immediately working on my next project now that this is out.
Wow.
And yeah, there will
Awesome.
be more coming soon.
Cool. And then when it comes, you said you got 13 albums. That's a lot of
Yeah.
music. Is there a process for what makes it and what doesn't make it for you, or are you just kind of like, I want to let everything out and just see what happens?
Yeah, so there's certain songs that I feel like wouldn't do well that are, like, kind of personal to me or what I was going through at the time, but a lot of them are kind of, like, unfinished because I, like, had an
Mm,
idea, but it never, like, was enough to turn into a whole song.
right.
And so songs like that, I kind of just archive, and then what happens a lot of the time I've found is when an artist hits me up for a collaboration or, like, a guest feature or something, I found that a lot of the times just that one lyric snippet I came up with back then tends to fit perfectly well on someone else's track. And so for my
Right.
guest feature, I'll like throw that on there. But the ones that like, really had the potential to become entire songs and that I did take all the way and that I'm really proud of and really brought to life, those are the ones that I decide to like stick on an album. And they're
Cool.
usually
Yeah.
themed too, which helps. That way I can group them together. And
Right. Right. Right.
yeah,
I was speaking to you earlier, and this is we'll probably go into more depth with this conversation in a little bit, but AI has become a huge topic of conversation, and among the musical community, you either love it or you hate it, or you're completely against it, or whatever. Um, I've met both sides, and I actually have adopted it and started using it and writing music and all that kind of stuff, but not. Um, is there a fear for you, or are you kind of leaning into that? Have you started to play with that kind of stuff yet, or what are your thoughts on all of that kind of stuff?
totally. Like this is controversial because all my friends are like very strictly anti AI. I would never personally use it in my own art. I think that for me, like that would be cheating. I feel like I want to do it myself. I want
Fair.
it to be
Yeah.
organic. I want it to be human made. I don't hate that AI music exists. I don't think that people should be like taking credit for it and making money off of it because they weren't the
Right.
one that produced it, sang it, did all the
Right.
hard work. But I don't have a problem with it existing. I listen to a couple AI songs that I think are just really funny. And so like
Yeah.
I'll play them at parties because they're like catchy or they make me laugh.
Right. Right.
And so like I don't mind that it exists. Like there's some AI artists I really, really love. I just don't think that people should necessarily make money off of it since they
Right.
didn't like make it themselves.
Right. And that's kind of where art and instrumentation, like when you think of it like this, I had this conversation literally yesterday with someone. AI, if people are using it as a tool, then yes, then
Yeah.
I would say go ahead. Like if you're making a beat, or if it's dance music or whatever, like if you're using it to create, then that's a different conversation than you're using it as the creator.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different of a conversation.
Very
Um,
true.
but again, it's one of those things. It's such a new technology. Everybody is kind of like, oh my gosh, how do we use it? I mean, even the business world is kind of like, there's been legal documents that have been generated, and they're like, oh my god, like this is crazy. It almost dumbs down the community a little bit because you're taking the effort out of the creation. So, um, but yeah, it's a topic of conversation. But I wanted to hear your thoughts on it because you're naturally talented. You don't need AI,
Thank
So
you.
these are the things that we talk about. So we're gonna go to one of my faves. So I'm gonna go bottom to top as far as my favorite.
Okay.
And so Choose Me or Lose Me obviously is not my least favorite, but it's the one that kind of introduced me to you, so it has to be in there. But
Okay.
for me, the next one was Destiny Was Born. So is there anything about this track that you like writing it that you can talk about a little bit, or
Sure, yeah. So all of my creative process for most of my music is generally the same. Like it usually stems from very big feelings. Like my writing is the product of like extra emotion and extra energy that like can't be contained in my body anymore.
Right.
Just because I feel things so deeply, and so I have to like
Right.
transfer some of it and like vent in a way. But no one wants to sit and listen to me talk about that stuff forever, so I put it in a song instead, so that hopefully people can kind of connect through that. And so I, at the time in high school, obviously I had lots of big feelings. My hormones were raging. I was with my first boyfriend and I was like, this is the love of my life. I'm going to marry him. As you do when you're 15 years old. And, so I really just had so much like infatuation for this dude I was dating. And, Destiny Was Born is kind of like, wow, like that's so crazy that I thought he was hot and then he actually liked me and this must be happily ever after. He must be my Prince Charming. He's my destiny. And so
Mm.
that's where that theme kind of came from, was like, oh, I'm so grateful he was born because he was destined to meet me, and now we're gonna like have this great life together.
So I'm gonna hit play on this, and hopefully it won't cut out again. I think I figured out what happened there, so we'll give this a shot.
Okay.
Some time ago, before I was born, the sun rose early in the morn. That was when something remarkable took place. It was a Wednesday, August 29th. Flash forward to that autumn night in the crowded bleachers. That was when I saw your face. And I thought, that boy sure caught my eye. Imagine if one day he might be mine. It never even crossed my mind I was being forewarned. And nothing happens by mistake. So ever since that fateful day, I thank my lucky stars for that morn when my destiny was born. Ooh, ooh. We spent more time with each passing day, but there was danger at the palace gates. Still I couldn't bring myself to lose you. And I remember that night like it was yesterday. After that concert it was getting late, and you said, after all this time I choose you. And I thought, that boy sure caught my eye. Imagine if one day he might be mine. It never even crossed my mind.
So honestly, on top of all of that, right? If you are lucky enough to have like Apple Music, Spotify, or one of those, there's a video that plays. I don't know if it's going to pick this up on the thing here, because yeah, there we go. Look at that. There's a video. I mean, who makes a video for their music anymore? It's all done by computer CGI stuff. That's awesome. It was really, really cool. But yeah, no, I love that track just because it's very positive. It's very like, hey, this is amazing. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And it's very, very high school-esque,
Yeah.
kind of like the it's almost the immaturity of not knowing that you have no idea what's going to happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, great, like the instrumentation as well. I think you've got so many different instruments in your music that you like to use, string based or otherwise. And do you put much thought into that when you're creating the track? Like when you're writing, is it like the music first or the lyrics first, or how does that work?
It's usually the lyrics first, but usually once I come up with like a lyric that I think is bomb, there will naturally be like a little riff or a little melody that plays in my head when I think of those words. And so that kind of becomes the melody. But as far as instrumentation goes, that is all my instrumentalist guy, Kyle McCann. He is the GOAT. So I send him my track, I send him my demo that's just me and my acoustic guitar, because I am not an instrumentalist. I wish I had that talent, but I just don't. And so I send him the demo, and then I send him like a playlist of songs that have a similar vibe to the one that I'm going for. And he is incredible. He can just like pick out what I'm hearing in my head based on the playlist, and he just creates like this perfect track of that's just so similar to what I'm hearing in my head when I'm thinking of
Right.
how I want my song to sound. So that's all him, but that's kind of how that
That's
process goes.
it's really cool. And again, it just adds to the vulnerability of the track because if you pick the wrong instrumentation, you can have a completely different feel. And
Yeah.
I think he nailed it just across the album because there are tracks where you could do a reimagining and it might be a completely different song.
Mhm.
My favorite reimagining that I've come across is it's a Britney Spears track, and literally it's redone by Glenn Hansard from the Frames. He's Irish, and he just does it with a guitar and a violin, and it's just insane. Like you're going, oh my god, I would have listened to that. I would have totally been into that if it came out like that.
Wow.
Not dissing Britney Spears, just saying that as a different track, it can just be a whole different world. So
100%.
so I love what you did with that. That was really, really cool.
Thank you.
So Destiny was born, and then you kind of like when you're putting the tracks on there, is there an idea in your head of how you think people are going to receive it, or are you thinking about that when you're releasing music right now, or are you just like, you know what, I just want to do me because I want to make sure that I'm creating for myself, or how does that work for you? What are you thinking when you're releasing this stuff?
Totally. It's so strategic. I'm planning everything about it, from the aesthetic to the themes to the sound to how I'm going to release it and when I'm going to release it, and like what order I want the tracks to be in, how people are going to perceive it. Like I'll swap the tracks around and be like, "Okay, what sounds better? What's more palatable? What keeps my attention?" And like based on the order I've put them in. And it is partially for myself. Like I don't personally relate to this album anymore, but I feel like they meant so much to me at the time, and like I want like someone who is in that time in their life to be able to navigate through those things, and
Right.
I like learn the things that nobody told me. And so like for my past self who poured her soul into those songs, and for like I wish I had someone to give me those songs when I was that age so that I could kind of like be like, okay, like navigate that era a little bit better. And so I do want to, that's kind of why I decided to release my older stuff too, is just because like there's gonna be some girl going through high school like
Right.
who is like
Right.
losing her mind, and she's gonna like maybe one of these songs will save her life, you never know.
Right, right. And music is food for the soul. So
Oh
like
yeah.
for me, every track and every artist, every famous artist that I've come across, Ed Sheeran is a perfect example. Like a documentary he did about his life and everything, and he writes from experience. Now,
Hmm.
the tracks themselves may not be like received that way. Like they'll have you like there's tracks of his that are wedding songs, and
Aw.
that's not really what he intended them to be, but it's what became of them because it was how people kind of received them. And
Yeah.
again, it's just I think for when you're releasing music, it's you have a thought of how it's going to be received. You kind of have an intent for each song that gets released. But I think much like reading a book, or for that matter, reading the Bible, everyone gets something out of it,
Yeah.
maybe different. And I think it's really cool to kind of come across that and see what fans are thinking about each track, and whether they like it or dislike it, it doesn't matter. You're making more stuff and you keep going. You know what I mean? So I think that's
Yeah.
a really cool, healthy way of doing it.
Thank
Um,
you.
so I'm gonna go to the title track because that was my next pick.
Yay.
Um, and kind of fits the mood because we're already kind of in high school and where Destiny was born and all that kind of stuff. So tell me a little bit about the title track, why it became the title track, so I guess, and what you were singing about, what the vibe was.
Totally, yeah. So, I think the title track just sums up the entire album in a nutshell, because it was about my first high school relationship, and Ever After kind of is like the epitome of that. Just I'm young, I'm in love, like I want a happy ever after with you. And the other ones kind of all tell a story and support that title track. But I also think it's perfect because all the other songs are sort of themed around it as well. Like there's references to Happy Ever After and like Boy with the Satchel, and there's references to like Tangled, and like, which is kind of like the theme that I centered it around, was like themes from Disney's Tangled. And because that was kind of me and my boyfriend's thing, we were like Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, and we thought we were them. And
That's
so
funny as hell.
yeah.
I love that. That's just really, really cool. So I'm gonna play Ever After, and then we'll go into a little bit more conversation. But also, there's a little ticker across the bottom of the screen for everyone who's watching. This isn't fake. This isn't AI. This isn't like something else. We are live. This is a live release of her album. And if you've got any questions about, if you're thinking about releasing music, maybe you want to know about how to write a song or where to begin. She is the epitome of all that journey. She's literally began with nothing and became this, and this is the amazing music she's created. So if you've got questions, please put them in the chat, and we're happy to facilitate. But here is Ever After.
It was a summer night. We were out there on the water. I looked into your eyes, wondering how you could have possibly forgot her. The guilt was piling down on me. Wished I could take back everything, but you are my fairy tale, and I need my happy ending. Please be my prince, I'll be your princess. You know my dreams, my hopes and wishes. And every time I hear the sound of your precious laughter, oh, I just know we'll get our happy ever after.
So honestly, that is you're not wrong. That is the epitome of this whole album, but it's quite like it's funny when you listen back to the lyrics as well, because it's like when knowing that it's a high school written album, the lyric please, like, let me be your princess or whatever, like it's just so high school, you know what I mean? Like just let me be the prince, just fucking do it, dude. Like why not? It's amazing. But again, we're on the high school vibe, and I love the journey. I love the, like, you go from choose me or lose me to like just kind of wooing a prospective boyfriend in high school, and it's quite a journey. And and that's the journey that I think most listeners will enjoy as well, is like everything has its own little story, has its own little backstory to it, and kind of what you can take from it. And again, it's like you said, it's a little bit Taylor Swift like, which, I mean, she's perfected the model of that kind of music, but I think it's very still unique to you, like and your sound is very unique to you. So it's like, as much as people always like when they, especially in this genre, you release a music and you're like, oh, I just want to be, I want to emulate the Taylor Swift model. But in reality, like, being true to yourself is really important. And I think you've really hit that really well during your creativity.
Thank you.
So the next track is kind of one of those ones where I was like, what was she onto on this one? So Jailbreak. Tell me a little bit about Jailbreak.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so Jailbreak is a fun one. It's actually telling the story of how I used to sneak out at night with my boyfriend in high school because our
Okay,
parents were very Mormon, very Latter-day Saint, and I wasn't, and so like they didn't like that we were together, especially his parents, and so
gotcha.
we had to sneak out to see each other, and so we would do that, and then eventually we got caught, and it was like a whole thing, and so I wrote that song as like a sad like, oh, like, but it was so good to have those nights with you, like I wouldn't take it back, like you're still going to be in my dreams, like almost like
Yeah,
a
because I was
forbidden
like,
Romeo and Juliet.
it was so. I guess now it makes a lot more sense. But like when I was listening to it, I'm just kind of like, wait. So I'm in high school. Why am I in jail? Like, what did I do? Like, you know what I mean? It's just I'm
Yeah.
trying to get in your head. But that makes a ton of sense, and I'm sure everyone listening will probably just be like, "Yeah, you're an idiot, Phil. What the hell was that?" But so Jailbreak is the next one. I'm gonna give this a listen, and again, I'm not playing the whole track just because I want people to just kind of get a feel for it. But it's quite a journey we're on with this one.
Started out fun and games. Two kids in a teenage dream. Crazy how things just changed. When life cued the romance scene. Sneaking through the creeping through the window out. Keep our little secret vow to never tell. Just you and me in the empty starlit world. And this is our escape from all of the crazy. When the world stands still and a little thrill creeps in. And this is our jailbreak. When the warden sleeps, then we quietly creep away.
So listen to it now after hearing what you just said. I feel like an idiot, but it's still like I love the start of that track, like the fireflies or the crickets or whatever. It's just, oh my god, like it's just a perfect. Because at first I'm like, what's happening right now? You know what I mean? But it's such a great setting. It just kind of sets the mood of what you're doing. Like it's almost like you're sitting on your front porch. You've got that guitar out and you're just strumming about life. Like you've
Mhm.
got this on your mind and you're in this pensive kind of mood where you're thinking about what happened and what, all the happenings of being in this relationship and having that kind of stuff. But it's I do love the instrumentals and the again, if this was him, he's incredible. Like the whole beginning and putting the right sounds in there. The if you're listening, you can hear the, like, when you say a certain word, it's you're referring to the happiness part, and there's a like it's almost like a twinkling sound. And
Yeah.
again, it's art of its highest form. Like when we go back and we talk about the AI stuff, if you were to tell a computer to do something like that, it wouldn't understand what you're doing. Now, if you edit it and put it in like that, that's a different story. But like that was so well created that it sets the mood for the track, and I think that's probably one of my faves. If I'm going to be honest,
Yay.
it's up there. So we're getting to my number one track out of the EP, and before we get there, I want you to tell me your favorite track.
Oh, I have to pick one. Okay. Ooh, it's probably like a tie between This Time and Boy with the Satchel. Those are like
That's
that's like
amazing
what I
'cause
listen to
my
now.
favorite is This Time. My
Yeah.
favorite is This Time. So that ties perfectly into the plan. Um, but yeah, Boy with a Satchel is also a great one. And honestly, I feel like again, I know I'm just kind of pimping your music a little bit right now, but it is so well crafted. Like for someone who like when you think about when these were written, like you're in high school and stuff, and I'm not saying that high school people can't write a song. I'm just saying that, you're not like experienced, you haven't got that. But like lyrically, it just makes a ton of sense. Like it's just got a lot of there's a lot of feels in there, like there's a lot of really well crafted lyrics in there, and it really just ties in to everything. If you were going for a certain theme for this EP, this album, you did like for someone in high school, you've hit the nail on the head each time. It's almost like chronologically, this is what you need to do. You listen to this one, this one, this one, this one, and then at the
Mhm.
end, here we are. It's
Yeah.
I do I do really appreciate that. But I'm gonna give a little snippet of Boy in the Satchel just because it kind of got a tie and it is your one of your faves, and then we'll play my favorite. So
Okay.
here we go.
Should have been reading the signs. They were written on the very first page. But being in love with you made me blind, and I didn't hesitate to give up my whole life for you. I couldn't see through your lies. Yes, true love's kiss just wasn't true. And after all, I admit to you, nothing worse than a bad ending. Should've known you were only pretending. You showed me how to see the light and said goodbye so fast. And you knew my heart was fragile. You were my boy with the satchel. You let our golden flower die overnight. Yeah. You were my fairy
So the reason
tale.
why it was a tie for me with my favorite is, which is really crazy that you had the same kind of thought process. Boy with the Satchel ties really well in with the fact that you made this first.
Yeah.
Like you got that, you know what I'm saying? Like it has
Mhm.
that feel where it's literally evolutionary. Like the music, the Boy with the Satchel, it starts with such a easy, like, oh yeah, we got this, and then all of a sudden you're like rocking out, and
It's
it's just
deceiving.
it's perfect. Like it's again, what I love about going through the catalog of someone's music is hearing the growth in their creativity. Like I've done this with so many artists now, and it's like when you can pinpoint like right where, oh yeah, listen to this song right here, and then listen to this song right here, and tell me,
Yeah.
you can see the evolution. It's just it's amazing. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Um, and then you went and chose This Time as your favorite song, as well as
Yeah.
me. And honestly, tell me a little bit about this one, because this one is really special, but also like it it has a feel that's a little different to the rest of them. So tell me a little bit about
Yes.
that.
Totally. So this time is I wanted it to be a very bold first opening track, right? But it also is kind of like, when you are watching a movie and it starts out like in the middle of chaos and like there's so
Right.
much going on, and then they're like, I bet you're wondering how I got here. Let me explain. And then
Yes.
it
Yeah.
starts
Yeah.
from the beginning of the movie. I felt like this time was kind of like perfect of like that type of vibe.
That
Like here's all this stuff
that's
going
a
on.
really good description
Yeah,
of what that
but
is.
like
Yeah.
let's start from the beginning, and then it cues Destiny Was Born, like kind of
Right.
starting from there. But it's also the main message that I want people that age in high school to like really take away from the album is like, yeah, I was young, yeah, I was in love, yeah, I was unhealthily obsessed with this boy and had unrealistic expectations about my relationship. But like this time is all about how like you really don't need a partner to be happy. Like you can do it on your own. You shouldn't change yourself for anyone, no matter how much you love them. Just all these things that I wish someone would have told me when I was dating this guy. And so this time is sort of like my little anthem and my little ode to little me, and
Gotcha.
like kind of taking my power back and teaching other little girls at
I
that
love
age
it.
to do the same.
I
Yeah.
love it. I
Thank you.
love it. All right, so let's give this a whirl.
How did this happen? I felt as if by magic you showed up just like a movie scene, as if the universe declared it's meant to be. It all happened so fast that fairy tales never last. You are picture perfect. I swear it's true. You're more than worth it to me. So I'll keep on believing. But if you screw it up, don't think that I'm afraid of leaving. 'Cause I can be whatever I wanna be. Whether you're here or not, doesn't affect me.
It's such a it's like a power ballad almost. It's like
Yeah.
it's like I just broke up with this guy. So you go through the sad phase, like that,
Mhm.
like, crying in your pillow, mom, leave me alone. I want to close my door and live in my room for a day,
Yeah.
and figure out life and stuff. And then you hear this song and you're just like, you know what? Yeah, I can do whatever the hell I want to do because I
Mhm.
don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly, all in all, it's a great album. I'm
Thank
super
you.
excited to hear what comes next, because if this time and Boy with the Satchel is anything to go off, I feel like there's going to be some more up tempo, fun, boppy kind of stuff coming our way. And I'm a huge fan of that because your energy is amazing when you do that.
Thank you.
The Choose Me or Lose Me will always be my fave because it's the one that caught my attention. But I really believe this album is the best first step you can make as far as creativity and putting yourself out there. So congratulations on that. I think that's
Thank you so much.
creatively, I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
Now, because everyone's silent and it's really rude, and I know you're all watching because I can see you're up there. So don't I'm going to ask the questions that are a little bit more personal. So, for
Okay.
example, favorite food.
Favorite food. Oh man. Oh geez. I've never. I don't know. I'll eat anything.
Yeah, okay. All right. She'll eat anything is the answer to that question, gentlemen.
As long as there's no animal in it, I will eat
Yeah.
it.
As long as there's no animal in it.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you're
vegan.
You're vegan. Okay,
Yes.
see, there you go. So that's matter. So, ladies and gentlemen, she is vegan. She is
Yay.
humanitarian, and she is all of these things. And this is what she does. Okay, cool. Now, if you had to pick your biggest influence on your music right now, who would it be?
Like what I'm currently writing, or like what
Yes.
I just released? Ooh, what I'm currently writing. Can I do top 3?
Yes.
Okay. Cartel, The Fold, and All Time Low, and Avril Lavigne. Bonus point to Avril Lavigne as well. Extra
Yes. Love it. That makes a ton of sense.
point.
And then if you had to pick your top 3 movies, what would they be?
Ooh, my top 3 movies. Okay, I feel like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has to be in there. Um, shoot.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm over here going, yeah, Shawshank Redemption is such a classic. It's so creative. You're over here going Sonic 2, definitely,
Sonic 2.
100%.
No, for real.
Yes.
That was such a well-made movie.
Yes.
Genuinely. Shoot. I guess I have to say Tangled. I mean, it influenced an entire album of mine. That's like
Yeah,
a
that makes sense.
classic Disney favorite of mine. Number three, number three. I'm trying to think. I feel like I don't watch a lot of movies. Mm,
So you already got one Disney in there. So you got Tangled, you got Sonic
Sonic
2.
2.
Sonic, the first one, didn't even make the cut. Oh my goodness.
No, Sonic 2 was way better.
So Sonic 2
Mhm.
and wow, okay. Well, we can leave it. We can think about it. We can think about it a
Sure.
little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine. And then
Oh,
if go on.
either Shrek or Twilight. That's what I have to say for
Shrek
3.
or Twilight. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
That makes that's good. I like that. I like that. And I do this because, for me, getting to know the artist is a big piece of resonating with their music. The more you know about them personally, and kind of you can resonate more with what they're writing about. So I think
Yeah.
this is important for the fans and the listeners and everything. The other one that I was going to ask you is probably irrelevant now, but are you a gamer?
No, not typically.
You're not a gamer. Okay,
I mean,
so
like, I'll dabble in Minecraft if I'm bored, but that's
there you
about
go.
it.
You win. You just got 1,000,000 fans just by saying
Yay!
that you like Minecraft.
Awesome.
You're gonna have all these invitations. Hey, I made this world, and it's all about your world. It's about this time. The
If Minecraft
song.
wants to sponsor me.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So, do you have any are you a collector of anything? Do you have any fan base kind of stuff? Like for me, I'm a Marvel fan. I'm also a Disney fan, but that goes without saying. The Marvel world, I'm a huge comic book fiend. If you can't see everything around me, which probably you can't right now because I've zoomed in a little bit, but I have Marvel everything. All my friends make fun of me because literally anything I wear is Marvel.
That's awesome.
But is there something like that you're like a collector of?
Fandom wise, not really. I'm not a big merch collector, but I'm a brown belt in Shaolin Kung Fu, and I totally am a big collector of like weapons. I love swords and staffs and all that shit.
Wow.
Or can I
Okay.
swear on here?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
I
okay.
did, so it's too late. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then I guess you could say I collect reptiles. I'm a big reptile lover, and I'm constantly growing my
I
little reptile family.
So
Snakes
how
specifically.
Kill Bill is not on your list is insane to me. But okay. Yeah, weapons was never in my like that was. Hey, so Raven, what are your favorite things? Weapons. Oh, okay. All right, cool. And
Yeah.
let's go to the first track. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. I don't know where to go from that one. So swords and reptiles, like weapons and reptiles.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Where does the weapons come from? What's that about?
Again, like just my martial arts background, being a brown belt in Shaolin
Cool.
Kung Fu.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a good nunchuck.
There you go.
I love touching
that feels like
dangerous
a
things.
dating profile. Like
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for a good nunchuck. So yeah, wow. Okay. So really and truthfully, like you've gone through this high school phase of
Mhm.
feeling vulnerable and being hurt by the guy that you liked and didn't like you
Mhm.
back or didn't do it. And then you decided, instead of wallowing in my self-pity, I'm going to learn how to kick everyone's ass, collect a bunch of weapons just in case, something happens where I might need these things. And yeah, and then if I can't do it, I'm going to have a bunch of reptiles that will finish the job for me. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense. Okay. Cool
Of
stuff.
course. What else would you do?
If you had to give advice to anyone right now who's thinking about making music, what would it be?
Just go for it. Don't wait. Don't worry about it being perfect. Do your best and Don't let the perfectionism rule your life. I have lost so much sleep over like this album alone, but also Choose Me or Lose Me took 3 years to produce in the studio simply because I kept hitting up my poor producer and being like, I can do it better. Can we redo this and this? Can we adjust this and this? It doesn't matter. Like, do your best. If you're happy with it, if your producer is happy with it, like, just that's all you need to worry about. Don't spend so much time on it that like you lose, you know, the momentum and you miss out on so many other great songs of yours that need a voice. And yeah, just don't hesitate. Like, you don't have to feel qualified. I have imposter syndrome every single day. Just fake it until you make it and like get that shit out there, and then you'll find your people.
Yes, that's what we wanted to hear. Look at that. All right, so with that, we have almost come to the hour, and I want to first of all thank you so much for taking the time out of your Saturday to join me on an episode of Untouched Melodies. I think you're an incredible artist. We've stayed connected for a long time, and I've followed your journey. And I think following the rest of your journey is going to be equally as impressive as this. So I look forward to hearing more from you and seeing more amazing music being released. Feature-wise, if you could feature or have someone feature on your track, anyone out there right now, who would it be?
The Fold, easily. Or like, if I could only pick one member of The Fold, Dan Cassidy, the singer. They're my dream collaboration.
Wow, you have that down. That
Yes.
Normally that
No.
question literally is a 2-minute wait before we get to where we need to be. You had that ready. Okay, The Fold. Okay, we need to hit up The Fold is what we need to do. That's kind of where we need to be right now, is hitting up The Fold.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So Dan Cassidy, if you're watching, what are you doing right now? And if you're not doing anything, you need to be featuring on a track.
Yes.
For this amazing artist right here.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. For again, thank you so much, Raven, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
This release has been a long time coming, and I'm super proud of what you've accomplished, and sticking with it is not easy at the best of times. And I know, life hits everyone, no different to you. And you still struggled through and made it happen. And what a great accomplishment to have that creativity out in the ethos. And it is available on Spotify, Apple Music, all of the above. Anything you have, look it up. Rainy Faerie, it's right there. Easy peasy to find. And it's like, just go through it, take a listen, see what you can get out of it. Maybe you have different thoughts. If you have, let us know. We love to hear people's thoughts and stuff, right? I'm pretty sure we do, don't we?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. If you have if you're an artist and you want to feature on this show and you want to release your music, please reach out. Unscripted production studio at gmail.com is the email. I would love to hear from you. Promoting music and up and coming artists is something that I love to do. And this has been a great experience for me, just being able to do this as much as I have. And Raven is just another person that I've been able to have on this. I feel like I'm geeking out over here. It's like starstruck over here.
Aww.
So thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a wonderful episode. Hang around after we hit pause, and I'll give you all the rest of the stuff that you're going to need for promotion.
Okay.
To those who've been watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back again. I know I haven't done one of these episodes in a while, but it's not often I get an amazing artist that hits me up and says, "Hey, I got an album I want to promote." And so, you let me know if you want to hear more. Reach out again on Unscripted Production Studio at gmail.com. That's what I'm here for. Other than that, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. If you're watching it at any time during the day, just enjoy, and we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
This is brought to you by Unscripted Productions. Thanks for being a part of the journey, and be sure to follow us for more info to get new episodes and more great content. And of course, rate this show on your favorite podcast listening platform and leave us a 5-star review. See you here next time.